Hey there, Angela Mosley here with Modern Fit Moms. Welcome to your upper body workout for moms with prolapse. What you're going to need for today's workout is I have a yoga block for a couple different moves. Then, of course, I have a several set of weights over here that I'm going to grab and choose as I wish. And then I do have my bench for our circuit later today. We've got 3 circuits, 2 to 3 exercises in each circuit. Pay attention to your body and what your body needs. We're going to start with a nice warm up. This is a full length video or a full length workout with the warm up and the cool down included. If you want more workouts like this and more defined programs, follow step by step. Make sure you check out the Fit Mom membership where you'll get access to all of my programs, specifically ones for prolapse, leaking, and diastasis recti, and then more advanced programs once you've completed through those. All right, so let's go ahead and join me down on the mat. We're going to come into a child's pose breathing. So we're going to work on our diaphragmatic breathing, expanding through the rib cage on the side. I'm using my yoga block for support. I'm going to come down into a child's pose and I'm going to have my palms face up and I'm going to try to breathe into the sides and down into my back. So inhale through your nose. And then exhale, let everything come on out. So you want to think that your inhale is expanding into your rib cage, down into your back, and down into your pelvic bowl. Now you can also place the yoga block to set it up so that you can rest your head. You can also place a pillow for support under your abdomen or even a pillow underneath your hips. So go ahead, continue with that breath. Inhale through the nose for about 4 count, expanding the breath into your rib cage, down into your back. And let the breath come all the way out. We're just setting ourselves up for success with our breathing. And awesome job. All right, go ahead, come down to the side. I'm going to use the yoga block on my side. And we're going to bring our arms together. And then we're just going to open up as far as you can go while keeping those hips nice and still. So we're opening up through the chest. I like to exhale here and inhale here, but you can play around with the breathing pattern that works best for you. So I'm reaching my elbow towards, and then I'm going to open up. Awesome job. Let's go ahead and switch into that other side. Same thing. So that yoga block is just used to help support. So we're rotating through the thoracic spine and opening up through the chest, rather than working through those hips. Inhale and exhale. Awesome job. Go ahead, come back to center. We're going to use that, place that yoga block off to the side. We're going to come into a cat-cow. So I want you to think as you inhale, you're dropping your pelvis, you're dropping your belly slightly, and then as you exhale, you're pushing through the floor and rounding through that spine. And then repeat. So you want to think about sits bones opening up as you inhale, and then exhale. Think about your pubic bone coming up towards your sternum. So your glutes should be nice and soft. Awesome job. Let's go ahead, turn this into a thread the needle. So I'm going to reach my arm through, and then I'm going to push this hand into the floor to open up and push away. So I'm inhaling, reaching through, exhaling, pushing away. Awesome job. Let's go ahead into that other side. So same thing, inhale, reach, exhale, push away. So again, I want you to think about pushing this hand open, almost like a clamshell, but for your shoulders. Hips go up and reach. One more. Awesome job. Go ahead, grab that yoga block, place it between your knees. We're going to come into a down dog. So you're going to pop those toes up. So I'm going to inhale, push that pressure back, and exhale, come to that bear plank. So that's where you might want to squeeze that block with your exhale and coming into that bear plank. So inhale, push pressure back, exhale, bear plank. Awesome job. Go ahead, drop the knees down. We're gonna get right started into our workout. So you're gonna grab one heavy dumbbell, as heavy as you feel comfortable with. I'm gonna go with my 25s. I'm gonna set myself up for a supported row. So I'm gonna come into a half kneeling position. I'm gonna place my opposite elbow here, and I'm gonna think about inhaling here and then exhaling, pull back. So I'm gonna inhale here and then exhale, pull straight back. We are moving. So as you drop that weight down, you're gonna exhale and pull that elbow straight back towards the back of the body, okay? Now, if this feels not as supportive or if you're having symptoms, you can always use a couch, bench, or chair and come into this position here. This might feel a little bit more supportive, okay? But if you don't have that option, that's why I like to show you that half kneeling. Keep going. 3 seconds and rest. Awesome job. We're gonna go right into that other side. So same exact thing, but now we're just switching into that other side. Okay, we are there. So drive, inhale here, exhale, pull straight back. So again, you can choose the option that works best for you. I think they're both favorable options. You just might prefer one over the other, and that's okay. So you can go relatively heavy with a bent over row because our back is a larger muscle of what we're targeting right now. And so we are capable of going a little bit heavier. And same thing with our next movement. Go ahead and rest. Awesome job. Now you're gonna grab another dumbbell. So I'm gonna grab my other 25. I'm gonna place my yoga block in between my knees. We're gonna go into a chest press. So same thing with our bent over rows. We can go heavier because the chest is a larger muscle, all right? So you're gonna inhale here and then exhale as you drive up. Now, why are we using the yoga block? The yoga block can be great to squeeze as you drive the weights up because that's going to engage your lower abdominals with your breath. So I like to inhale here and then exhale, squeeze that yoga block as I drive up, okay? So this might just mean you might need that reconnection with those lower abdominals, and using that yoga block pillow or Pilates ball in between the knees with your exhale as you drive the weight up can feel more supportive, especially if you're just getting back into strength training with Prolapse, okay? So you wanna think open chest here and then exhale as you drive up. Awesome job. Go ahead and rest. If you need to, roll to your side to come up. All right, we've got 2 more rounds just like that. So we're gonna go back to our bent over row, either on the bench or in that half kneeling position. Okay, so you decide. I'm gonna go into that half kneeling and we're gonna use that same weight we used before unless it was too much for you, all right? Pull back. So inhale here, exhale, pull back. So I'm using 2 25s. I'm using 25s for my row and 25s for my chest press. Now, I typically would go a little bit heavier. So for my rows, I would probably aim for a 40-pound if I was not recording. And for my chest press, I would probably go probably up to 30 if I was using my dumbbells, but I can get up to 77 pounds with my barbell, okay? So just keep that in mind as you continue to strengthen your body, you continue to connect with your core and your pelvic floor. Awesome job, go ahead and rest. That anything is possible, right? I had a stage 2 cystocele and stage 2 rectocele. All right, go ahead, join me now. I am the strongest I have ever been before kids. I was never this strong. I had 4 babies, all vaginal births. I was denied prolapse surgery for my cystocele. Went down to a stage 1. This was back in January 2024. This is January 2026. I have not been checked since. My symptoms are far and few between. Everybody always asks me that. Do you still get symptoms? Occasionally, I'll have a flare-up, but it's really if I'm sitting for long periods of time, if I'm not moving my body, if I'm eating poorly, which messes up my gut, messes up my bowels, go ahead and rest, and then it results in gut issues, and so then that just triggers my prolapse. So I get that question more often than not. But my pelvic floor is the strongest it has ever been, even with my prolapse diagnosis. All right, back to our chest press. Ready? And we're there. So inhale here, exhale, drive up. Now, if you want to make this more advanced, you can always use a glute bridge hold. Some may find that that can be supportive as well, because when you lift the hips up, that can help pull, gravitational pull on pulling that prolapse back in place. Totally optional. Just like to give you guys options the best that I can. 10 more seconds. Last one. And rest. Go ahead, place those down on the mat very carefully. Roll to your side if you need to. We're gonna go one more round of each. Our bent over row, and then our chest press, and then we'll move on to our next circuit. All right, back to our rows. Ready? And we're there. So inhale here, exhale, pull. So you'll notice that the way that I programmed this workout is the beginning is more of our larger muscles. So that's where you're gonna lift heavier. Our middle section is pressing. So not as large muscles. We're just doing pushing and pulling. So I'm gonna try to go with my 25s for the next round as well. And then our third round is more accessory work. So triceps, biceps, and shoulders. Awesome job. Go ahead and rest. And feel free to take a longer break if you need it. Don't wait for me, is what I'm saying. All right, go ahead, pull back. So you want to think about pulling that elbow straight back towards your rib cage. Again, you want to think inhaling here, expanding into that rib cage, exhale, pull back. I don't have a massive brace in my core. I'm not even being intentional with it, to be honest, but you might find that you need a little bit more intention depending on where you are in your prolapse journey. I've gotten to the point where my body just responds the way that it should. So I might have like a slight brace just to stabilize myself, but otherwise it's very gentle. We don't want hanging out, right? We don't want lower belly pooching as a sign that you're pooching and bearing down. Go ahead and rest onto your pelvic floor, and we don't want that. All right, one more round of our chest press. So go ahead, place that block between your knees if you need to. And grab your weights. We're about 5 seconds. 3, and we're there. So inhale here, exhale, drive up. Some of you may find the block helpful, some of you may not. Like I said, I just like to give you guys options. If you struggle to connect with your lower abs, that's where it can be really beneficial. Like I said, you'll inhale, let go of that squeeze, exhale, squeeze as you press up. And rest. Awesome job. All right, roll to your side to come up. We're gonna go into our second circuit. So our second circuit is gonna be a lat pullover with a glute bridge knee drive. But first, we're gonna come on to the wall. I'm gonna use my 225s, but I only need one dumbbell for this circuit. And so we're gonna come into a half kneeling position. So if you need cushion for your knee, you're gonna grab that. I'm gonna place my hand on the wall, and I'm gonna think about pressing into the wall to get my rib cage to slide back, okay? So anytime we're overhead pressing, we wanna make sure that it's not coming from the rib cage, because I'll see that a lot where we're compressing in the back, shoving those rib cage forward, and then that disrupts that breathing pattern. So this can help to push the rib cage back. So I'm gonna inhale here, and then exhale, drive up. Go ahead and join me now. So inhale here, exhale, drive up. I think this might have been a little aggressive for that 25. I did 25 in class the other day, so I'm gonna grab my 20 pounds. Because I like to have several options near me so I can make sure to switch if it's a little bit too aggressive. Whew, yeah, I'm feeling it. I taught a class yesterday, whew, and it was a little spicy, I have to admit, especially on the shoulders. And that's where we can get a lot of compensations because pressure is from the top down. So be mindful of your movement patterns. So inhale here, exhale, drive up. Oh, go ahead, shake it off. We're gonna go right into that other side. I may end up going with 20 or 15s for this second round. All right, ready, set, we're there. Drive up and down. So inhale here, exhale. So again, if you need a longer break, don't be afraid to take it. Inhale, exhale. So stay tall through that spine. Exhale as you drive up. Keeping those ribs down. That's where that half kneeling position helps. Rest. Awesome job. Okay, we're gonna go into a glute bridge with a lat pullover. But first I'm gonna show you a different variation. So I'm gonna show you super basic variation is you're gonna place that block in between knees like we did for the chest press. All right, I'm gonna grab my weight, I'm gonna drive it out and then drive it in. So inhale as I drive back, go ahead and join me now. Exhale, wow, exhale, squeeze that block as you drive in. All right, we're gonna stay here. I'll show you the variation in the next round. Very important that, same thing with our rib cage, that we don't shove our rib cage forward just to get that weight overhead, right? We wanna lock it in with our pelvis. So you wanna make sure that it's in alignment with our pelvis, it's locked in as we drive up. You might have a gap. I have a gap in my back. That's perfectly fine because I have glutes and that's a good thing, right? But my rib cage is still in connection with my pelvis as I drive out and then exhale as I come in. Go ahead and rest, all right? So you don't have to shove your back into the floor just to get, you just need to make sure that you are connected. Same thing with our overhead press. All right, I am gonna go down another notch because like I said, yesterday was a little aggressive for our workout. So I'm gonna go to my 15s, all right? Ready? We're there. Drive up and down. So again, you wanna think about pressing into the wall as you press up with that opposite hand. Inhale down, exhale, drive up. 10 seconds to go on this side. And rest. Awesome job. You have about 10 seconds. We're gonna go into that other side. Same exact thing. All right, get ready, and we're there. So drive up and down. You can also do this in a seated position as well if that feels more supportive. The idea of this position is, like I said earlier, you want to think about pressing this hand into the wall to push back so your rib cage comes back. And you want to think about staying tall through that spine so you have a nice stack over your rib cage. Ten seconds here. Boy, am I glad I went with that 15. The other day really got me. Awesome job. Go ahead and rest. And we're gonna go into that lat pullover. So if you wanna do what we did last round where you placed a yoga block in between your knees, go for it. Otherwise, I'm gonna show you an advanced version that's going to work your core as well. So I'm gonna come into a glute bridge. I'm gonna drive the weight out. Go ahead and join me now. And then exhale and bring that knee in towards the dumbbell, but I'm not touching the dumbbell with my knee and I'm alternating sides. Okay, so I inhale, drive that weight back, exhale, knee drive. Now this is more advanced, so make sure that you have the stability in your hips and your feet, but this is one way to add in some core work into our upper body and glutes, of course, too. So inhale back, exhale, drive up. So again, we want to make sure that those ribs stay down. They don't flare as we drive the weight over our heads. Inhale, exhale, head and rest. Awesome job. Roll to the side to come up. We're going to go back one more round of each. starting with our overhead press. So get yourself set up, place your hand on the wall, and we are there. Drive up and down. So this keeps me from shoving my rib cage forward, because I'll see a lot of this a lot of times just to get that weight up there. And if you are doing that, that's a good sign that your weight, is too heavy for you. So we want to be mindful of that. Just like I started with 25s and I dropped it down to 15s because I knew that my shoulders are a little fatigued from yesterday. And so I want to make sure that I support my body. Whoo, I'm already feeling it with these 15s. And switch. Go ahead, place that weight down. We're going to switch into that other side. All right, one last round. Drive up and down. Inhale here. Exhale, drive up. Fantastic job. We're almost there. Whoo, my shoulders are feeling it. Whoo, yes, they are. Rest. Awesome job. All right, one more lat pullover with either the yoga block or you're doing it with me where I'm doing that knee drive. You decide. Go ahead, grab your weight. You have about 5 seconds. And we are there. So I'm going to tap above and then drive. Less than 10. And rest. Awesome job. Go ahead, roll to the side to come up. I'm going to put those 25s away because we are done with them. We won't be using those. I'm going to grab my bench. We're going to do the rest of our exercises on the bench for support. So our first exercise is going to be a bicep curl. I'm actually going to grab my 12s. So it's a bicep curl, super basic, down and then hammer down. So one curl up and then hammer down. You're going to repeat that. Then you're going to take 1 or 2 weights. We're going to go into a tricep overhead, okay? And then we're going to go into a lat raise. I'm going to try with all my 12s. We'll see what happens. My 10s are upstairs. So we're going to give it a try and see what happens. All right, so drive up and then hammer down. Each exercise is only 30 seconds. So what that means is we're not going as long as we did with our push and our pull circuits. Whew, it's already spicy. But we don't really get a break either. So 30 seconds of each move. So right after this, you can either put one weight down and go into a tricep, or you can do 2 weights. So we are there in about 5 seconds. I gave you 10-second break to switch and drive down, drive up. So same thing with any of our movements today. We want to make sure that our ribs are not flaring up to get the weight up there, okay? Very, very important. Now, you could do this on a chair like I am doing here. You can come into a half kneeling position as another option. You could do a tall kneeling position as another option. Okay, so you decide, elbows up towards the ceiling. All right, now we're gonna go into our lat raise. So drive up and down, same thing. You can choose a variation that works best for you. I like to do a half kneeling on my bench that feels the most supportive, especially because when we're moving away from the body, you're gonna find that whatever weights you're using for your biceps and your triceps is gonna be hard, right? So if I had my 10s, I would go with my 10s. So I'm gonna do less reps. I want my elbows nice and soft. But think anytime you go away from the body, that's where it's gonna be the hardest. Okay, so our biceps and triceps can handle it. Whoo! And rest. I'm making that ugly face. Whew. So if I had my 10s, I would have did my lat raises with my 10s, but I'm gonna stick with it because I feel okay. It's just a bit of a challenge. All right, we're gonna go back to our bicep curl. So curl on the way up and then hammer on the way down. Go ahead and join me now. So curl up and down. So this is our accessory work. So we're using lighter weights. So the first 2 circuits, you want to challenge yourself with heavier weights. And then this final circuit, it's intentional to go lighter. You've already worked the muscles quite a bit, but now we're doing some more isolation work and smaller patterns. Whoo, all right, go ahead. You have a 10-second switch. We're gonna go into that tricep overhead. You could use 1 weight or 2 weights. Ready? And we're there. So think elbows up and drive up. So inhale here, exhale, drive up. I really like having a mirror to see because I don't know, it like motivates me. It's like, I feel like I'm better, or I don't know what it is about mirrors and being able to see yourself, but I feel like it just helps me to do better. Inhale down, exhale, drive up. Oh, all right, 10-second switch. I'm gonna sit my knee on my bench. Again, you could do a half kneeling, you could do a tall kneeling, you decide. All right, we're there. Drive up and control it on the way down. So think about your elbows. Somebody is pulling you. It's lifting you up. You want to go about shoulder height. Yeah, this is a challenge. Whew. 10 seconds. Well, 13, whatever you want to call it. Holy moly. 5 seconds to go. We only have 1 more round of this, and then we are done with our workout today. Whew. And rest. Awesome job. Whew. That is tough. That's a great way to finish off our workout. Grab a quick drink. Okay, we've got those bicep curls to our hammer. All right, we're there. Bicep, hammer down, rotate out, bring it up. So again, you can do this in whatever position feels best for you. I just like to give you options no matter where you are. Whew. Maybe you like standing. Standing is perfectly fine too. I am getting fatigued. My muscles are like, all right, are we done yet? Whew, especially those biceps. Oh, and rest. Awesome job. All right, triceps. Tricep overhead. All right, ready? And we're there. Drive up. So you want to think elbows towards the ceiling. They're nice and close to your head, all the way extend at the top. Whoo, to get those triceps to come on board. 10 seconds to go. Awesome job. 10-second rest. All right, we have our lateral raises. 3, 2, and we're there. Drive up, slow and controlled on the way down. This is our last 30 seconds, guys. Last 30 seconds of work. I really hope that the camera recorded. It's happened more often than not where I've had to go back through and record it. At that point, I will definitely be getting my 10s, maybe even my 8s or my 5s, because this is spicy. Whew. Come on, last one. You are done. Fantastic job. Let's shake it off. Just gonna move my bench. we are done. All right, let's cool it off. Let's stretch it off. We want to make sure that we improve mobility as well as our strength. So you're going to take your elbows and put them on your couch, bench, or chair. You can also do this down on the mat. And I'm just going to drop my head slightly down. You're going to feel a nice stretch in the shoulders, the chest, in those triceps that we just worked so hard. Again, I want you to think about breathing here, inhaling into your nose, expanding through the rib cage, expanding down into the belly and into the pelvic floor. Think about pressing your elbows into the bench and pulling back. You'll get a deeper stretch. Should feel really, really good. Awesome job. Go ahead, come on up. We're gonna go into that thread the needle like we did, but this time we're actually gonna hold it. So I'm gonna reach up and needle it through. You can either take this hand out in front or you can place it behind your back and open up through the chest. You decide what works best for you and what you think about breathing into this side right here. You can think about pressing this bottom hand into the floor to open up just a tad bit more. Give me one more good inhale. And exhale, bring that hand towards the face, and let's switch into that other side. Same thing, you can either take it out in front or take it on your hip. You press that bottom hand into the floor to open up a little bit more. Give me one more good inhale. Exhale, bring that hand towards the face and push away. Let's go ahead and do a quick cat-cow. Inhale up. Exhale, round through the spine. Awesome job. Go ahead, come to a seated position. Interlace those fingers, open up through the chest, drop the shoulders down, keep the ribs down as well. We just want to think about that chest opening up. Awesome job. Go ahead, take the hands out in front, interlace the fingers. I want you to think about pulling those shoulder blades away from each other. If you enjoyed this workout, make sure that you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. I post once a week, whether it's educational or workouts, just for you. If you want more and you're ready to take on more of a program style, make sure to join the Fit Mom membership. There's 12 plus strength training programs, a program specifically for moms with prolapse, leaking, and diastasis recti. Go ahead, switch. And an on-demand library. So if you love these workouts, make sure you check out the details down below. I'd love to have you as part of our community where you'll get regular workouts. Awesome job. Go ahead, shake it off, shake it off. Let's go into a quick down dog. Pop those toes up. Inhale here, hold here for just a moment. And when you're ready, walk those hands back up and roll on up. Nice, slow. Give me a good wiggle and a jiggle and a shake. Fantastic job. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. And I'll see you guys in the next workout.